Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm the GCSE science teacher, and in today's video, we're going to be learning some physics. As I'm posting this, it's actually Boxing Day 2023. So I hope you've had a wonderful Christmas if you are celebrating that festive holiday. If you're doing something else and you're having a relaxing time, whatever it is you're deciding to do, I hope you're having a lovely day nevertheless. So we talked about physics before in terms of electricity. We are midway through, I would say, of this module. So if you are enjoying it, give it a thumbs up. Let me know. I know it's not everyone's favorite topic. Having heard from students in real life, I know a lot of students don't like this topic, but hopefully you're finding my videos helpful. Thank you so much for subscribing, and I really appreciate all your support on my YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, all of which is at the GCSE Science Teacher. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about mains electricity to continue with the topic of electricity and physics GCSE. So, the first thing we need to do is just remind ourselves what current is. So, current is the flow of charge in an electrical device. And where does that charge come from? Well, it's coming from the delocalized electrons that are found within the metal wire of your device. A lot of those devices contain copper wire because it is a very good thermal and electrical conductor. And that way we can actually get a good flow of current and a good flow of charge. So there's actually two different types of current that you need to know for GCSE. You have direct current or DC and alternating current or AC. And you may have heard of the rock band if any of you are musicians out there. AC/DC, I think it's an Australian rock band. They kind of use this idea to kind of give them their band name. So that's where that comes from. But essentially, you need to know what the difference is. So let's start off with direct current. Direct current is a sort of current that has a constant voltage. It has no change in voltage, no change in current. The direction of it is the same, as you can imagine from the name. And this is a very useful type of current. It's actually the first version of current that was utilized. And it's because it has essentially the ability to transfer electricity from one source to another. We have different devices like car batteries or solar cells or solar panels that use direct current. Um, and it is very useful because when it's just one or two devices from a short range, we can get a lot of electricity that we need. However, it's much less efficient because the friction involved in generating this type of current actually releases quite a lot of heat, and that way it actually transfers quite a lot of heat or thermal energy from the device, which is wasted, and that's not necessarily useful. So there was a new version of current that was created or generated called alternating current. And this is a way of generating current or electricity by actually causing the current to constantly change direction. And this is something that we use to actually produce a lot of the electrical current that we use from power stations to supply our homes. And this is essentially generated using magnets. And because the current is constantly changing direction, it's much less expensive to generate because there's less frictional forces which are transferring wasted energy in terms of thermal energy, and therefore it's less expensive because it's much more efficient as it is generated. One of the other benefits of alternating current, especially as we use it on a wider scale from cities to cities, we actually have the ability to transmit this electricity or this alternating current across very long distances, which is something that direct current just really wasn't able to do. So, as obviously society expanded and more people wanted electricity to power their homes, obviously alternating current was seen as the better option. Now, where does this actually come from? Where do these ideas come from? Something in science I always like to do is link it to the real world and how this even came about. And for your GCSE exam, you do need to know the difference between alternating and direct current. You do need to know that mains electricity, the electricity that's supplied in your homes right now, is alternating current because it's more efficiently generated. It's also able to act on long distances or be transmitted across long distances. You need to know that the energy or the electricity that's supplied to your home is at a frequency of 50 hertz and 230 volts. But where does this come from? And it comes from two scientists, essentially. One called Thomas Edison, who you may have heard of, and another called Nikola Tesla, who you may have heard of as well, but maybe in a different context, especially as the rise of Elon Musk and Tesla as a company has become more popular, especially nowadays. But let me tell you a little story. So, Thomas Edison was an inventor back in the 1800s, and he came up with loads of different inventions like the light bulb and different devices in the home. But he actually was someone who came up with this idea of direct current and was able to transmit and use that electricity to power homes and the light bulbs he'd created. But over time, he noticed that actually the electricity wasn't able to transmit across the city and power lots and lots of homes at once. It was a very inefficient way of transmitting electricity. And he started to work in his company with another scientist, another inventor called Tesla or Nikola Tesla. And they essentially both established these ideas together. Tesla came up with this alternating current idea, which was much more efficient. And essentially, what happened was they both fell out over these ideas. Although they were both incredibly smart people, very pioneers of their time, they both fell out because they couldn't really agree on who came up with it, and there were other things going on with who was in charge and all this type of thing. I'll link a article if you are interested about any scientists in electricity, if you're interested in this story. But I thought it was quite interesting because even now, today, that these scientists so many years ago had this idea, we still use it today. And it makes you think, what will be the discovery of this time? Maybe you are sat there watching this video and you're doing your GCSEs and you actually come across a really great idea, or you solve a problem, and then that will be talked about in hundreds and hundreds of years' time. I just think it's so amazing that science is really everywhere, and it's important to talk about the stories that have been in the past and are still still helping us now. So like I said, you may have heard of Tesla from Elon Musk. Essentially, Elon used his name to kind of share his amazing pioneering ability to transmit electricity across cities, and it's essentially changed the life that we all live now, hasn't it? So everything I'm saying in here in this video, anything that's vital for your GCSE exam, is all in bold, but I just thought this was a cool bit of history that I thought you'd like to hear. So, just like the mini history lesson that I've just shared with you guys about Tesla and Edison, this is also a part of real world issues and how the science curriculum is linked to essentially the real world, and how actually a bit of information like this could really save someone's life. So, in the GCSE exam, you need to be able to identify and know the functions of different wires of a plug. And you might be thinking, gosh, miss, this sounds so rubbish and boring, but hear me out. The wires in this plug actually could save someone's life if you know what they mean. So let's go through this. Essentially, if you were to open up a plug socket, which I do not recommend you do because it is dangerous, okay? Remember, there is 230 volts of electricity going through a device at any one time. But in a classroom, you can actually get some dummy plugs that you can actually use that aren't connected to anything, and you can open them up and you'll see something that looks like this. And essentially, you should see three wires. Now, in different countries like America and other parts of the world, there'll be different types of plugs. Some have two prongs. In the UK, which is where I am, there's three prongs. Let me know if you're from another country other than the UK, by the way. Hello, it's lovely that you're joining us. Thank you, by the way, if you are watching these videos. But essentially, there will be three wires, and they all work the same, whether there's three prongs, two prongs, whatever. You should have a neutral wire, which is blue. You should have a brown wire, which is live. And you should have a green and yellow striped wire, which is the earth wire. Now, the most dangerous wire out of these is actually the live wire. And this is because it has the most voltage running through it. And in the UK, like I said, there's 230 volts of electricity going through this wire. So we want to make sure that the other wires are intact. The live wire obviously is intact. If there's any damage to wires, they want to be removed. We don't want any damaged wires. Sometimes you actually see people who have their phone chargers and the sides of the charger is like all frayed. That is an absolute disaster. You do not want to be using wires like that because it could easily catch fire. it could stop working. And also, it's an exposed wire, so it's really dangerous. If you ever see anything like that, definitely just don't use it. Don't plug it in or anything. Remove it. Try and get a new one, because it won't even work anyway. It's very dangerous. But those three wires at GCSE, you need to be able to identify in a diagram, but you also need to know what they do. So, like I said, the live wire, the brown wire, is the one that has the biggest voltage. It has that 230 volts of electricity running through it. The earth wire, which is striped green and yellow, this essentially stops the device becoming live. And it essentially, what it does is it transmits the electricity down into the earth system of the building or the home that you're in. And it stops when you touch a device, say it's a metal device like a toaster. If you were to touch that, you could get electrocuted. So that wire prevents that from happening. So the live wire is the dangerous one. The earth wire is the safety feature. There is another safety feature in a plug, and this is the fuse. In a previous video, I talked about this. If you are interested and want to know more about fuses and other components of circuits, I'll link that for you. But a fuse essentially will melt if the voltage gets too high and it breaks the circuit. So that's another way that plugs have safety features built in. And then we also have another wire, which is the neutral wire. And this essentially is used to just complete the circuit. Like I say, anytime the wires are broken or there is any problem with a wire, you often will be able to see it, and that means it just needs replacing. One of the problems that people have is just that they don't know which is which. So that is why they have colored those wires. They've put this plastic insulation around it because you do not want those wires to touch at all. You want to make sure they're separated and have that insulation around it to prevent any electrocution or any problems like that as well. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know by commenting down below. Please also feel free to subscribe. I'm really grateful for everyone who's already shown support here on my channel. So thank you if that is you. And share this with someone you think who would benefit from learning more GCSE biology, chemistry, and physics. I also have an Instagram at the GCSE Science Teacher and a TikTok at the GCSE Science Teacher as well. Thank you so much for all your support. I hope you're having a fantastic holiday if you are relaxing or revising, whatever it is you choose to do. And if you have any study tips that you want to share ready for the new year, because I know lots of you will be doing mock exams and lots of you will be doing your real exams, I am thinking of doing a study tip guide or a revision tip guide for the new year. If that's something that interests you, let me know down below. But in the meantime, thank you so much for your time. I've been the GCSE science teacher and you have been curious. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.